Getsu Fuuma Den. Getsu Fuuma Den translates to the story of the Lunar Wind Demon. It's a side-scrolling action-adventure game made by Konami. It's very similar to the Castlevania series, but it's non-linear. Think Simon's Quest, only a lot better. The story is set in the future year of 14,672. A demon lord escapes from hell and kills 2 of the 3 Getsu brothers, and the youngest vows to avenge his fallen kin and save their souls. Although this is a very difficult game, it never received a sequel, but it has lived on through the years. The main character has found his way to the Yu-Gi-Oh! Card series and Castlevania's Harmony of Despair as an unlockable character, and has his own stage based on different levels of this game. Number 9. SD Kiji Blader. SD Kiji Blader is an RPG that has such a great story, you'd think it was based off an anime, but it isn't. Finding information on this game is next to impossible, and I'm not even sure how I looked into finding it, but I'm thankful that I did. Blader is a space detective that arrives on Earth and gets caught up in the midst of an evil ruler named King Jado, trying to take over the world with his minions. Although this game has a high encounter rate and can be difficult, the gameplay is fast-paced and the story is so well written, with every town having its own subplot. You'll have a great time playing through it and enjoy it nonetheless. Number 8. Felix the Cat. Felix the Cat is a cartoon that goes way back to the golden era of animation. It was very popular in the 20s and then was revived in the 50s for a few years. Then he vanished until 1993. Hudson Soft turned the 1950s Felix the Cat into a side-scrolling action platformer. I think the fact that Felix the Cat was gone for so long is why most people slept on this game, and that was a mistake. Felix the Cat from start to finish is one of the best platformers to grace the console. You can collect stars until Felix morphs into a stronger form, and there are multiple throughout the whole game. The only thing that holds this game back is it can be easily beat, but that shouldn't stop you from picking it up and trying it. Number 7. Guardian Legend. Guardian Legend has probably one of the most generic sounding names for a game, but I grew up with this game. It's one half Gunnak and one half Zelda. The game is difficult but not impossible. As you kill more and more monsters, you gain experience points, and you can get stronger weapons and more health. The plot is fairly simple, where you're stuck in a space station that is set on a crash course with Earth, and you have to navigate the ship battling bosses to activate the self-destruct sequence. The game is way ahead of its time. You have a map system and a hybrid gameplay, and great creature design. You can pick this up for fairly cheap, and if you ever see it around, I highly recommend that you grab it. Number 6. Samurai Pizza Cats. Samurai Pizza Cats was Saban's answer to the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles cartoon in the early 90s. Although the anime was a big hit in Japan, over here the cartoon got lost in the shuffle. That's probably why we never got this game here. Tecmo put a lot of thought into this game, and it shows even all these years later. At the start, you're given the choice of selecting one of the 3 main characters, but at any time you can switch the character out with one of the 4 from the rescue team. Each member of the rescue team has their very own skill that will help you get past different areas, and with amazing level design, each stage will have you switching out the characters all the time. This game is an underrated gem, and maybe one day we'll review it in more detail, because there's still so much to talk about that has us coming back time and time again. Number 5. Moon Crystal. Moon Crystal is a game that went against the grain. Back in 1989, it was common for a game to use 1 or 2 frames in a character's movements. Moon Crystal uses several frames for every action, and they do it in a way where a player doesn't lose control. Moon Crystal is an action platformer that reminds me of the Aladdin games released years later. The graphics are colorful, and with the extra animations, this game stands out. Plus, having ninja Ninja Gaiden-esque cutscenes makes this title a mini powerhouse. Now, it's true that this game was never released over here, but it's definitely one that needs to be imported. You can pick it up for fairly cheap online, and we highly recommend it. Number 4. Lagrange Point. Lagrange Point is a very special game and the most technically advanced RPG on the NES. It's the closest thing I've seen to the MSX's SD Snatcher. It's the only title to take advantage of Konami's VRC7 memory management chip. This allowed the game to produce graphics and music way above what the console could normally do. The battle system is similar to the Dragon Quest games, but it has a feature that was unheard of back in the day called Auto Battle. Weapons can be customized, adding multiple layers to the system, and you could also find over 8 characters to control throughout the game, all having their very own storylines. Since this game was so huge and complicated, it took over 10 years to be translated, and all of that dedication is shown in the fan translation. There just isn't anything like this game. Number 3. Cosmo Police Galavan. Cosmo Police Galavan is universally unknown, and that is so depressing. For the select few that know of this game, describe it one of 2 ways: Contra with swords, or Metroid with lightsabers. Both of those sound awesome to us. This is a licensed game from a Japanese superhero TV show, and that's almost all of the info you'll find. You can search up and down, and you won't even find any reviews on this unknown gem. We plan on fixing that, but as of right now, let me give you a quick rundown. This game is basically Metroid, but with magic, and you can level up your lightsaber and health. It's notoriously hard, but you can overcome it with skill. This is a game that needs to be played. Trust us, if you're a fan of Metroid, you'll love this one. Number 2. Mitsume ga Toru. Mitsume ga Toru is a game based after the anime The Three-Eyed One. It was never released overseas, and it's a damn shame because this is the best side-scrolling action platformer ever on this console. The game plays a lot like a mix of Bucky O'Hare and Mega Man. It's got beautiful cutscenes and great artwork, and all around some of the best music on the console. Each level has a lot to offer with level layouts and enemy designs. You collect coins when you defeat an enemy, and you can spend them upgrading your weapons. The main character can charge his attack and conjure a red condor that acts like a spear, but also can be used as a springboard platform. This game does so many things right, and the fact that you haven't played it is so unfair to you, so right now you need to go and find a copy and enjoy it. Number 1. Radia Senkai. Radia Senkai is a beast of a game. It combines Final Fantasy-like storylines with a Zelda-like battling system and Ninja Gaiden-like cutscenes. It was planned to get a release over here under the title of The Tower of Radia, but it was cancelled at the last second, even though a prototype was finished. You can have up to 4 people in your party, and during a battle, they move and fight independently. At any point, if you're lost, you can converse with your party members, and they will give you hints on the current quest. This game breaks boundaries, and was so far ahead of its time. If it would have made it over here, it would be known as the best game ever. I try to let people know about this game because it's criminally underrated, and if you're a fan of retro gaming, you have to get a copy and play it today. Thanks for taking the time and watching this video. Remember, every week on Thursdays we release a new episode of our podcast. Go on iTunes and search Through the Game Vine and subscribe.